So if you're watching this on the playback after the live stream, thank you very much for coming along. Really appreciate that. So I've got a few things to talk about today, and the first major or main thing to talk about is why I haven't been doing any live streams lately. Basically, I did make a video. I'm not sure if many people actually saw it though, so I'll say it again in here. Our internet was down for a couple of weeks, and we could not get it back up. The box itself had broken. The box arrived yesterday, and it's all working now. So hopefully, the internet is a bit better actually than the old one, but also hopefully I can do a few more live streams now to make up for the ones I've missed. So that is why my uploads have been quite staggered, not as many as I'd like to do, and that's also why I haven't been doing any live streams. Hello, Rachel Jane's allotment. Thank you very much for coming along. Really appreciate that. So another thing I would like to talk about in a minute, I will wait for a few more people to come in, but I think Rachel Jane, you might already know about this, that whole fake account for Jim Bob's Greenhouse Adventures. I'm going to sort of just tell everybody a bit about that because he's lost a few subscribers from it. I've lost a few subscribers from it because this person was, insulting my viewers as well. And also, I suppose I am associated with Jim Bob. So unfortunately, it has damaged both of our channels. But I think in the end, Jim Bob came out on top because he actually ended up gaining a few from people supporting him, which is good. So an update on the chicks. They've all hatched. Well, 4 of them hatched out of the 6. And I've had a look at them today. One of the black pekins is a cockerel. It's already got its comb forming. As for the 2 silkies, we won't know for probably about a year what they are. So I'm just hoping that they're both hens. But if not, I'm definitely keeping one that I saved because I spent hours one night literally just trying to keep it warm and making sure it had plenty to drink, stuff like that, because it was barely alive when I took it in. So I'm definitely keeping that one, whatever it turns out to be. Oh, so I'm getting some buffering, which isn't good. Weird. Is the buffering, Rachel Jane, are you getting any buffering as well? Because the internet only just reaches me up here. I wonder if I switch. Hello, Go Fish. Oh, it's not buffering. That's good. Thank you very much for coming along, Go Fish. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I play it on my phone besides, so I can see if it's buffering because my computer never tells me. That's good. Right, I'll carry on playing on my phone then because that's the only way I can. Well, the chat I find appears slightly quicker on my phone. Only slightly quicker, but it's quite useful because I can sort of react to that then. And also the picture on my computer is completely different to the one I get on my phone. So it's really confusing for me trying to work out, how good the picture is. Because on my computer, it's really, really grainy. But I look on my phone and it's not that bad. So I got some books the other day from a charity shop. They were 50p each, I think. Some gardening books. So this was the first one I got. Containers, baskets and boxes. It's really good. I've just sort of glanced through the first few pages and it is full of information. And obviously I've got lots of gardening books here, but there's quite a lot in this book that I don't have in any of those. Then I've also got this one, an Encyclopedia of Gardening. This one has also been very useful. There are some that are very similar to the complete book of gardening. Some are pretty much the same, actually. Some pages with very similar pictures, but it's got a few more different bits in. And for 50p, even if it only has one more piece of information that I didn't have before, that's a bonus. Thank you very much, Go Fish. Really appreciate that. So I would have got Jim Bob on today, but I think he's busy, so I thought I'd do a solo one. And he is planning on doing a live stream at some point in the near future. I think he was waiting for me to get internet because he doesn't want to do a solo one, which is fair enough. I wish my first one was with Jim Bob, because my first one, I pretty much just sat there for 30 minutes not knowing what to do. So I also got this cactus clock yesterday and this cactus mug. So everything in this live stream is cactus themed. No, I'm sort of getting the hang of it a little bit now. I just have to keep talking. So I also bought it was a second-hand guinea pig hutch, 2 stories, and it was in bad condition. The people who bought it paid £150 for it. I got it for a tenner. No, £30, sorry. The floorboards in it, though, were completely rotted out. So what I've been doing today is just with my axe, cutting it all out, knocking them all out, and ripping some bits out. And I'm going to try and replace the floor with something, but also the little, I suppose you could call it, stairway that they use to get down is not big enough for my chickens at all. So I'm going to make that a bit bigger, and I'm going to use that to raise all of my chicks in. Mainly the silkies, because obviously I'm not going to know what they are for quite a while. So how is everybody today? I do like cactus, yes. I've got a 6x8 greenhouse full of cactus and succulents. I've got a couple here, actually. Yeah, so I've got like 3 or 4 little succulents and I think 1 cactus in my bedroom. Not many. I don't really keep too many plants in my room because I don't have much windowsill space. There you go. Haven't missed anything. That's good. So we can go for 8 minutes. We've got 4 people here, 3 likes. If you haven't already, please remember to hit the like. It really helps me. So has anybody been doing anything interesting lately then? Oh, you see 4 likes. I think my feed's slightly behind. I don't think it updates on my phone either, does it? No, it doesn't. Okay. Well, yeah, mine's still saying 3. I think mine's just really, really behind, which is annoying. Could be to do with the internet, to be fair. Well, I did invite him, but he was busy today, unfortunately. Go Fish. He had other things to do. Although we are going to be doing some live streams on his channel soon, so that's something to look forward to. He might come on later in the day. However, I haven't set it up for somebody else to come on, so I'll have to end this one and do another one. It depends how long I go on for. So you might see him, but I doubt it. It'll probably be next live stream that we do a collab. Oh, my light's gone off. I think it's run out of battery. Oh, that is actually on. That's as bright as it gets. I was hoping, well, I'll wait till we got a few more people in and then I'll describe the or talk about the issue with Jim Bob's Greenhouse Adventures fake channel, because that channel has caused a lot of damage to quite a few people, me and Jim Bob obviously included. So if you haven't already, please check out Jim Bob's Greenhouse Adventures. And yes, so another thing that I have been doing lately, it's sort of a side project, I suppose you could call it, if project is the right word. It isn't the right word, but still, I'll go with that. So yeah, you've seen his last video. So basically, quite a while ago, I decided I obviously wanted to build all those raised beds outside, and I've still got loads of leftover materials from building those raised beds out of the pallets. So I've got a bit of a side project that I've not properly started yet. It's still sort of just beginning, but the idea behind it is to use all of those materials that I had left over from it and build some bug hotel things and those bird houses, things like that, basically, so that the nature in my garden can also benefit and have some safe place to live, because most of the things I have get regularly pruned, cut back, moved, so it's not ideal for anything to live in. So I'm going to just make a few bug hotels, bird houses, things like that, so that the things living in my garden have somewhere to go that's safe. So we've got 5 people in here now. We've been going for 12 minutes. We've got 3 likes. I'm sorry to hear that, Go Fish. Hope you feel better soon. Sorry, I got a bit dust or something in my eyes before I did this. I was clearing off some things on the top of my wardrobe, which is in front of me, and I knocked loads of dust into my eyes, which is clever. I do not play any instruments, no. I can sort of play the piano a little bit, but not very well, and that sort of goes for the drums as well, but no, I don't properly play anything. Apart from the triangle. I can play that one all right. So I've got a bit of a plan for the chicken pen. So Go Fish Office is saying he plays piano and some mandolin. Very nice. Yeah, Rachel Jane, same happened with loads of people. He's lost several subscribers, and I'm hoping we know pretty much who they are, because they replied saying, okay, I get the hint, by then, type thing. So I'm hoping that a couple of those might come in today, so I can sort of explain the whole issue. But he made the mistake of commenting on Andrew Fishman's channel. If you don't know him, check him out. And Andrew Fishman's a good friend of mine and Jim Bob's, so he pretty much went over there and sorted the issue out. So hopefully the troller, faker, whatever you want to call them, hopefully they have gone now, because Andrew got them to delete the majority of their videos, and they haven't made any more fake videos copying Jim Bob's Greenhouse Adventures since. So hopefully that will be the end of that whole copying thing that was going on a little while ago, because it has affected a few people. We've lost several people from both of our channels. Mazda Gurus is here. Hello. Thank you very much for coming along. How are you today? Go Fish Office is saying, with Jim Bob, you would really think that people really know him, would know that it isn't him, but his personality, yeah, I agree. It's not like him at all to be horrible to anybody, especially online. He's a really nice person, so it doesn't make any sense that he would do that, but enough people have believed it that he has lost a few subscribers from it, although a few people did share out his video, and he did gain a few subscribers. I think Hugh's Nursery subscribed to him and left a few comments as well, which is nice because he hadn't been having much luck with subscribers. You know, they were just going down because of this faker, people believing it was him. So Rachel Jane's Allotment is saying she did report them to YouTube and message Jim Bob to let him know. Yeah, thank you, Rachel. We really appreciate that. Thank you very much, Mazda Gurus. BBK Trudy Bird is here. Hello. Thank you very much for coming along. How are you today? Is there any buffering? Showing buffering on my phone. Are we all right, or have I lost you all? Okay, that's good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Go Fish. Still no buffering. That's good. I think it's just the internet on my phone, which is another thing I wanted to talk about, actually. I did make a video on it, but I'll say it here again because the video didn't get that many views, so I'm assuming not many people know about it, although the title did pretty much describe the issue. So my normal phone that I used to record died quite a few months ago. The battery split on it, and that was that. So I was using an old iPhone 7 to record, and that worked fine until a few days ago when the speaker broke on it, so that it wasn't putting out any sound, and it also couldn't pick up any sound, so the mic had gone as well. So for a couple of days I didn't have a camera, and then I tried a few other little cameras, but none of them were very good. It was like I was filming with a potato, to be honest with you. So in the end, I dug out one of my old phones that most of the things on it don't work very well or don't work at all, but the camera is one of the only things that still work, and it has got a relatively good camera as well. So I dug that out, and that's what I'm using now. So the camera quality will be a bit different, although I think it might be slightly better than normal. So my little bit of pieces here. So Mazda Gurus is saying we need to learn how to do a live chat. It's very useful, I find, to do a live chat because obviously you can really talk with your community and get to know people better. So I would recommend trying to do it. You just need a good computer with a decent camera and you're okay. So thank you very much to everybody who's come along so far. My display is slightly behind, so if you already have liked, thank you very much. But if you haven't already, please leave a like. I'd really appreciate that. So just let everybody say hello to each other. So I think now's a good time to talk about the faker issue. So most of you probably have noticed that there's been a second Jim Bob's Greenhouse Adventure YouTube channel. I think it had there were two. One had a blue logo, come to think of it, and the other had a red, dark red logo. These two aren't Jim Bob. They are somebody who has decided to copy his channel name and make some really horrible videos about Jim Bob. And he's been going around into the community and just random YouTube channels, basically telling them that they don't like them, they hate their channel, that type of thing, which has really upset the community, as you can understand. And a lot of people have believed what's been going on and do genuinely think that this is Jim Bob saying this. It isn't Jim Bob. We don't know who it is, my little bit of piece. However, it's likely either somebody from his school or just somebody that he's upset on YouTube. But I can't imagine he would have upset anybody because, he's a really nice person. But that is our current theory, is that it's obviously somebody who he's upset, whether he even realized he did it or not, who just decided they're going to hate his channel blindly. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to his channel and like a few of his videos, because he's been getting a lot of his videos disliked by this person as well. And Go Fish, they're saying that that isn't very nice. Jim Bob isn't like that at all. He is always very nice, which is a very, very good summary of Jim Bob. He's just a very nice person, supports the community, goes on a lot of people's videos, and is really nice to people. So if you haven't already, please check out his channel. We'd all really appreciate it. How is the lighting, by the way, as well? Because my computer's showing it quite poor, but my phone's not giving me the greatest picture either. Is the lighting okay, or is it a bit dark? So Rachel Jane's allotment is saying yes, but he did get some troll views. Well, yeah, I suppose, watch time is watch time, whether it's from a real channel or a troll channel. Thank you, my little bit of peace. Appreciate that. So there's a link to Jim Bob's channel just put in the chat. So if you haven't already, please go and subscribe to him, like a few of his videos, leave him some nice comments to really support him, because currently he's not enjoying YouTube at all. Whereas YouTube's supposed to be a nice fun place where you can talk with people, with your friends and other people in the community. All right, thank you, BBK Trudy. Yeah, we really appreciate all the support going to Jim Bob, because he does need it at the minute. His channel has taken a really hard hit from this, because he was very close to 100 as well, and he's been knocked right down now to, I think he was on 86, but then he gained a couple more overnight, which was good. And the majority of his videos, yeah, it's not a big channel or anything like that. It's literally just somebody making troll accounts, going over to his channel, telling people in his comments that he doesn't like them, telling them to go away. People see Jim Bob's Greenhouse Adventures, think it's him, and well, go away, understandably. I know Jim Bob has requested that if anybody does see this troller commenting or anything, to email him. I think he's got an email in his about section. So, and then he will try and resolve the issue. But as I said earlier, fortunately, this guy, or unfortunately for this person anyway, commented on Andrew Fishman's videos being quite horrible to him. So Andrew Fishman spent a couple hours last night, although it was the morning for him. It was last night for me, basically getting rid of this person, and they have now deleted 4 or 5 videos and haven't uploaded anything since. So we are hoping that is the end. However, we just don't know at this point, because they went away for a day or so and then came back not so long ago. So there's nothing stopping them from doing it again. Yeah, so my little bit of piece is saying they tried to clone her channel name a while ago, but just ignored them. Yeah. Thing is, with Jim Bob, they're being really aggressive on his channel. So if he ignored it, he would have just lost any subscribers that didn't know him that well, which I can't really understand why you wouldn't know, why you would think that somebody being horrible is Jim Bob. Do you know what I mean? You watch one of his videos, you kind of get the idea that he's a a nice person, but hey, obviously some people believed that and left. So my little bit of piece is saying that they did it in a chat for her. Yeah, it's just a shame that there's people trying to ruin his channel. I think that's the most annoying bit, because he was just so close to 100 and then they've knocked him right down. Yeah, he's been going around to anybody who comments on his videos and has been correcting anything that's been going on in there, just saying this isn't me. He spent a couple hours yesterday morning doing that, and I was sort of helping him as well. I think we've got everybody now. We just got to hope, if you perhaps see anything like this as well, if you could just let them know that it is a fake one, because he lost a new subscriber that had subscribed that same day. He lost them from that, which was a shame. So GoFish is saying they had one do it in a chat as well. Was that the one you were telling me about in Nomadic Bikes live stream? But they were being quite polite or something, you said, weren't they? Because as well, what I noticed is, because I went along to that stream after it had finished, because GoFish told me what had happened, and it literally looks like they are trying to find out who Jim Bob knows so that they can then act as if, yeah, I'm the real person and I know you type thing. Yeah, that's fair enough. My little bit of piece. It is difficult to keep up with everybody's videos, and well, obviously the internet was gone for me for quite a while, so I am very behind on a lot of people's channels. Yeah, it was on Nomadics, so yeah. So if he has been acting weird, being horrible to anybody, basically the message I'm trying to put across, it isn't him. Just ignore it. Yeah, thank you, my little bit of piece. Really appreciate that. So how is everybody today? I've just got something to show you, a bit of an update from a live stream I did quite a while ago now, actually. I was sowing some seeds in it and doing a few other things. And out of the, I think I sowed like 25 seeds or something, only 2 plants germinated. However, they've done really well. So they look a bit like Mimosa pudica. They're not, they're Albizia. It's quite a large family. So technically these are just Mimosa Albizia. Mimosa pudica are the ones that you touch and the leaves fold up. This is just another variety of that, except the leaves don't fold up. Apart from at night, they do fold up when they're cold and when it gets dark. So they are part of that family, just not the most common and most well-known variety. Yeah, they are pretty much the same thing. It's just they don't have the ability to close when touched, only when it gets cold and dark. But they're still a very interesting plant. In fact, to prove to you, well, I don't need to prove it, but just to show you how drastically they do fold up, I'm going to take that plant out of the windowsill and I'm just going to leave it next to me for a little bit. And then at the end of the live stream, or whenever it's closed up, I will show you what it looks like. So we've been going for 29 minutes. We've got 6 people here and 5 likes. If that's not correct, I'm sorry, my feed is behind. But if you haven't already, please hit a like. I really appreciate it. So, oh, it is 6. There you go then. So a bit of a question here for the gardeners. that are here. Do you use gloves? Yes or no? Personally, I don't, but I've just seen My Family Gardens video with those badger claw glove things, and it seems that he just uses gloves all the time. But personally, I don't bother with them, and not even when I'm dealing with the really horrible spiny Apuntia cactus. I tend to just forget about them, to be honest with you. So I don't normally bother getting any more. I do have some somewhere. I just haven't used them in ages. So Go Fish saying they prefer gloves. Yeah, it's just something I've never used, I suppose. So I just never will. Ah, right. Yes, you have cats outside. That's another thing with obviously that we do have cats, but the only one that lives at our house is I think he's 19. Yeah, 19 now. So he doesn't he doesn't venture outside very much. When he does, he likes to go in my greenhouse and leave a lovely poo in one of my beds or on top of a plant pot. But leave it to me to clear up. So Rachel Jane's allotment is saying she wears a glove on her right hand only. That is what I will do if I'm wearing gloves, because I don't like the fact that obviously you've not got quite as much control. So I normally, if I am potting up a cactus, depending on what it is, normally I don't bother. But if it is something horrible, I'll have a glove in one hand. I'll tip the cactus out sideways onto my hand, catch it with the glove hand, and just put it back in. But apart from that, I don't use gloves at all. Yeah, that would be good. So Go Fish Office is saying they want gloves, depends if they can find them. And Rachel Jane's allotment is saying, shame they don't just sell the right hand glove on its own. That would be useful. So my little bit of piece is saying she's noticed thin white worm in the soil, so wears gloves just for that bit. Yeah, that makes sense. That's fair enough. What about when you're potting up plants then? Do you use gloves then at all? I suppose it depends how many you're doing. Like say you had 200 plants to pot up. Would you use gloves or not? Personally, I don't, but I can understand why people would, because normally by the end of it, I've got a thick layer of dirt on my hands. So my little bit of piece is saying potting up using bought in soil, then no. Yeah, that's fair enough because it's normally sterilized and stuff like that. I just normally have a really thick layer of dirt on my hands by the end of it, but I can understand why you wouldn't want to. Well, I can understand why you would want to wear them in that situation. So Rachel James allotment saying no, not for potting up. I think the main thing is when you're sort of just digging about or planting something outside. I think that's the main time you'd use gloves. However, I do know quite a few people that would just use gloves in any situation because they don't like getting dirt on their hands, which is fair enough, although it doesn't really bother me. So is anybody growing any interesting plants at the minute? I'm growing, I think the most interesting things I'm growing at the minute are probably my albizia. I have got some mimosa pudica outside, well, in the greenhouse. That's sort of my house plant type things done. Vegetable wise, I've got dragon tongue beans, I think they're called, from My Family Garden, and Bangla Cody bottle gourd, I think they're called. Something like that, anyway. And there's a couple of other things I can't quite remember their names, but Bangladeshi beans, that's another one. So they're the most sort of different things that I'm growing. So Rachel James Allotment saying she also has one of those claw gloves that she got from the pound shop, but can't use them. Why? Do they not work very well? Yeah, I've got an avocado as well. Here's mine. It's drooping a little bit because I haven't watered it yet today. I don't want it to burn because I like to, when I water them, give the leaves a bit of a misting as well. I find my plants like that. So I think I need to pot it up though. That's probably half the issue because currently it's just in a sliced gherkins jar. So I'm going to pot it up quite soon and put some like gravel on the top so it holds water better, because currently there's some moss growing in the sides of the pot which drinks most of the water and leaves the avocado with very little. And yeah, I've got a citrus as well, come to think of it. So avocado, citrus, fruit, bamboo, and kiwi. I tried kiwi, but it failed miserably. I got all of them to germinate after ages, and then they all died randomly. You can actually already see some of these top leaves here beginning to close. I'm just going to shut my door a minute before the dogs run up. This avocado, I had, well, a lot of difficulties getting this to germinate. I had it just sort of over a jar of water, glass of water for ages, and it did nothing. It actually began to rot. So I threw it in my terrarium fish tank thing, and the high humidity it was enough for it, and it germinated after a month or so. It was eaten by the stick insects I have inside. As you can see, that's where it started to grow, but got eaten very quickly. And I was worried it wouldn't make it, but it did send out some leaves in the end. And now it's doing all right, which is good. So Rachel James Allotment saying she's growing Chinese noodle beans and avocado and pineapples. I tried doing the pineapple thing, but mine just rotted off again. I had it in the greenhouse and it didn't like it, rotted off, and that was that. But I will try it again at some point. So how do you grow coconut then? Do you literally just put a coconut in the soil then and it germinates after a while, I suppose? So we've been going for 38 minutes. We've got 5 people here, 7 likes. All right. Can I have a cup of tea, please? Thank you. Oh no, the dogs are here. So BBK Trudy is saying that she pinched the gloves. Oh no, glove thief. So it was a shop one that you got. Yeah. I don't understand, like with stuff like coconuts. If you try and germinate something with a really thick outer layer, it takes ages. Imagine trying to do it with a coconut. I don't understand. 8 likes. There we go. The delayed display once again strikes again. Barbara's Allotment is here. Hello, thank you very much for coming along. So Barbara, just to let you know, and anybody else that's come in since I said it last, there is a fake account for Jim Bob's Greenhouse Adventures. So if you have received any nasty messages from this account, it's not Jim Bob. It's somebody who's just copying him and using his name, trying to damage his YouTube channel. So if you have received any messages, unfortunately, there is this troll going around, but it isn't Jim Bob. So because he did lose quite a few subscribers from that, because he was very close to 100, and that incident knocked him down to about 84 or something. But I think now he's gone back up, and I think he's on 86 or 88 now. He got a few subscribers. I'm slightly jealous. He got subscribed. Well, Hugh Richards from Hugh's Nursery subscribed to him, so I'm a little bit jealous. There you go. So I'll just let everybody say hello again. So this hasn't been here for long, and you can already see the leaves are beginning, especially these top ones, they are beginning to close due to the lack of sunlight. If I were to leave these here for another 10-20 minutes, they'd be completely closed. Rachel Jane's allotment saying you drill the top of the coconut so it would germinate better. I suppose, yeah, that does make sense. It just amazes me, like stuff like that are, well, seeds that in general that are really picky and need specific environments to germinate. It just amazes me how they ever germinate in the first place. So, bit of a question for the gardeners here. Do any of you know how to protect cabbages? Because I have tried putting netting up, but they've still just been completely eaten. I've tried slug barriers and some slug killers. They haven't worked. How's the best way to protect them? Should I be using a cloche? That's another thing. Or would they bolt and burn in that? So my little bit of piece said, did try a mango, but kept breaking the seed trying to open it. Oh, that's a shame. So they gave up. Yeah, I think with the avocado, that was my third or fourth try. So at that point, I had just given up, and then it germinated on its own. Because I see a lot of white cabbage moth around, and obviously I assume them and slugs are killing it. But there's just nothing I can do to stop them, because everything I do kills them. Sorry, everything I do, it kills like one or two of them, but they still live on, most of them, and just give up on cabbages. That's a good one. Although my sister wouldn't be too happy about that. She loves cabbage. I also bought some gardening string, because I ran out ages ago when I was trying to grow some beans in the greenhouse, which currently are doing okay because they're some Bangladeshi ones, so they quite enjoy the heat. But I ran out, and I didn't have any for ages, so I was doing everything with just leftover bits of rope and stuff that weren't very good. So I finally bought some new string. So Rachel Jane's allotment saying to let her know when I work out the slug issue, because she's growing 3 times what you need. Yeah, I've got 5 plants out there. All of them have basically been turned into a skeleton at this point. And every time they grow back new leaves, they get eaten again. I have tried everything. There are a few caterpillars on them, so I took them off. And pretty much everything I find in the garden I do kill, to be fair. I know I did just say I've been building things for the insects and stuff, but at the end of the day, ones like that are in such an abundance and are really damaging my crops, if I throw them away, they'll only come back again. So I just sort of got to kill them, especially with snails and slugs. They're the worst ones, to be fair. I don't see that many caterpillars, but I do get. Well, last year I had loads of them, and any leafy plant I grew would be eaten in a couple of days, and there was just nothing I could do. There were hundreds and hundreds of them everywhere. They ate my sweet corn, which I was annoyed about. They'd actually gone inside and eaten the sweet corn. So that was very annoying because I only grew a couple plants. I think I grew 2 or 3 plants, and I think in the end I didn't get any because when I did harvest them, I found that just they were all eaten, or the ones I did harvest, they were going to get eaten at some point anyway. So I just harvested them and they weren't ripe enough. So I had to, I think 1 or 2 were like that. So I threw them away. Oh no. So Rachel Jane's allotment saying going to have to watch stuff in polytunnels and greenhouses. They've predicted temperatures to go back up. Well, actually, I say oh no, that's good because I've got a polytunnel that should be going up now. We're waiting for the planning to go through, but it should be September if it goes through. And obviously, anybody knows about polytunnels, you know, you need heat to be able to put the cover on so it can stretch, and then in the winter it sinks back in. So that will actually be quite good if the temperature does rise. It just means I won't be able to go in any of my greenhouses for a while. So we've been going for 46 minutes. We've got 6 people here and 7 likes, even though I think I was corrected earlier and told it was 8. So we'll go with 8. See if I can find that. Oh no, 6. That's what it's saying there, unless I've gone too far. Oh no, it is 8 likes. That's good. Unless it's 9 now, who knows? So, is anybody growing any pumpkins this year? Because I tried growing one last year. The fruits would form, or like the pumpkin would form, and then it would just drop off basically and rot every time I did it. Same with my butternut squash. This year I've got 5 plants in my raised bed, and I'm just hoping that the same doesn't happen. Is there anybody who does grow them or has grown them? Any advice on getting the fruits to actually form and grow? They're in very, very rich soil because I put some nice, well rotted manure in the soil with them and a few other things. So they should be all right for nutrients. Obviously, I will give them a liquid fertilizer as well, but they should be all right for nitrogen and things like that. So 9 likes. Thank you. Because pretty much everything I grew last year was a failure, to be honest with you, apart from the tomatoes. Strawberries, I got like 3, although this year I got none. So I've done worse this year, but that is because I potted them up, to be fair. So I grew courgettes last year. They failed. Radishes, I grew too many. So most of them just went past their best. Peas and beans, they kept falling over. So I've sort of given up on those. Thank you. Do you want to come in, Bill? Good boy. And obviously the butternut squash. Actually, I did try cucumbers as well. And I got a tiny little cucumber and then it fell off. So I've not done that well with those types of plants. So this year I was determined to try and grow some more things like that. So I've already got 4 or 5 courgettes. So I'm happy about that because I only had 2 plants again. So I'm happy about that. I've actually got a harvest this year from them. Didn't do any aubergines, although I did grow them. They all died. And the same with the cucumbers. I germinated them and then they died. But only 1 or 2 germinated. And I think I sold the 2 that did survive anyway to Jim Bob. So is this the is that the pumpkin you're talking about, Barbara? Because if they need to be pollinated 10 times, I've got like one bee occasionally in my garden, which is why I'm trying to get more to come to my garden, because currently anything like that needs pollination just isn't getting pollinated, because the bees tend to go, or I find this one bee that lives in my garden, or near my garden, it comes in, it pollinates all of the flowers and leaves the vegetables. I've never seen it on the vegetables, only ever the flowers, and I spend quite a lot of time out there. So Rachel Jane's allotment saying she planted some pumpkins in the sun and some in complete shade, and the ones in the shade are doing best. That's good, because everything I grow is in the shade, because if I have it in the sunlight, I have to have it on our patio, which anything on there gets destroyed by the dogs. I have got one little thing in there that's got some courgettes on it, and they've done awful. Paul from Richard and Paul said it. Okay, well, thank you for that, Barbara. I will bear that in mind. Hopefully, I might. If I get one pumpkin, I will be happy, because it'll be better than I did last year. And I didn't try butternut squash this year either, because before I knew it, it'd gone past time to sow them. So that's the reason why for those. Although, to be fair, if I did grow them, they probably would have died anyway, knowing my luck. So I have made a video, but I'll say it anyway. The internet was down for the last couple of weeks. That's why I haven't been uploading very much, and that's why I haven't done any live streams for the past 2 or 3 weeks. So if you're wondering why I've not been very active on people's videos and just in general, that is why. But we got the box yesterday and we've got it all set up now. So hopefully I'll be able to, do more live streams and be able to upload some more videos, because I had lots, but most of those were lost on my phone when it died. So I'm going to have to try and make some more. But I think the majority of them I already had uploaded, to be fair. I just need to make the videos public. So Barbara's allotment saying next year she's going to grow them up trellis. Would that work? Surely they'd be too heavy. I don't know. I've not got a clue with these, but surely they'd be a bit heavy and they'd break the plant. Because I've just got mine trailing across the brick drive. I don't know if that's bad. Should I put something underneath the fruit as it forms, underneath the pumpkin as it forms, or should it just be all right? I don't know if they're like strawberries and they rot easily. So yours are smaller ones, yeah. I don't know what mine are, because I got the seed from my family garden. So I have to ask him, the sort of the size of the pumpkins, because currently I don't know whether they're going to be absolutely massive or tiny little pumpkins. Although I have got some gourds as well, so hopefully they'll be like quite large, and then I've got the gourds as well, which will be smaller. So Rachel Jane's allotment says the temperature affects pollination. If it's too hot or too cold, the flowers are sterile. That's why it takes bees a while to pollinate. Try in a shaded polytunnel. Go Fish is still here, just listening. Thank you very much. I have to admit, I wasn't going to do a live stream, but Go Fish convinced me to do one, because they asked yesterday if I was going to do a live stream. I said no, because I was a bit busy with other things, and with the whole Jim Bob incident, that happened in the middle of the night. So I was trying to help get rid of that one. So I didn't get much sleep. So I would have done one yesterday. That's why. Then I didn't really want to do one today, but Go Fish asked. So I thought I might as well do one because I know that I'm at least going to get one viewer. That's the worst bit, is when I start a live stream and I'm going for like 10 minutes and there's nobody there. Yeah, you have to blame Go Fish for for this one. So an update on the harvester ants colony. The last time I showed them to you, there were a couple of workers and a very small pile of eggs and, well, brood basically. I checked on them today. I also gave them another little outworld bit because I'd noticed they had been going outside a lot, and the colony itself is, I'd say, doubled in size at least, and it's actually got some new larvae that are a lot larger, which normally become I think they're called the majors, which is basically, if you've ever seen those really big ants walking about with the little ants. So the smaller ants are minors and the larger ants are majors. So hopefully I'll see some of those soon. I'm looking forward to that, because then when I give them, well, I can begin to give them live insects as well then. I just don't want to get bitten by them because they really hurt. It's useful though, because you need to feed them on seeds. Well, obviously I've got loads and loads of seeds that are, I'm just either don't want to grow them because, you know, I've got them in a magazine and it's just not the type of thing I grow, or they've gone way past their best now, because we found loads of out of date seeds the other day that were about 5 or 6 years out of date. So unless I particularly want to grow them, because I have so many, I'm just feeding them to these ants, and they quite like them. It saves me going out into the garden trying to find dandelions and stuff like that to feed them. So anybody who has a polytunnel, obviously you've got a normal polytunnel cover. Have any of you got a green polytunnel cover? That I think there's something like 60% shading made to mimic like the forest floor. There's enough light for plants to grow, but the main thing is it just doesn't make it as hot. It's perfect for shrubs and things like that. And a garden centre near me has several of these polytunnels with these covers, and they have all sorts growing in them. So Go Fish Office is asking what my favourite plant to grow is. That's a difficult one. Probably, at a guess, I would say, I don't know, it's a difficult one. I'll go with tomatoes, because that's the first thing that I properly grew on my own when I was a lot younger. So I'd go with that. That's the first thing I grew, and that's kind of what got me into gardening a little bit. Although that was mainly cactus that got me into it, but I'd say it was definitely tomatoes that started it. So Rachel is away from keyboard. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we've been going for 59 minutes now. We've got 4 people here, and if I remember correctly, 9 likes. If that's wrong, blame the computer. Yeah, so Go Fish Office is saying he would have chosen tomatoes as well. They're just a nice one, because I meet people all the time online that said tomatoes are really difficult. Personally, I find them the easiest. I find every other vegetable difficult. Apart from onions, I can grow them. Onions and tomatoes, they're about the only thing I can grow. Everything else, I tend to get failures. So Rachel Jane's allotment is back. I've got a bit of a question for you, Rachel, or anybody else who has a polytunnel. Would you recommend using green polytunnel covers? They basically stop it from being really hot, and it's sort of built-in shading. I can't grow cucumbers, go fish. I struggle for some reason. I grow them, I plant them and all. They begin to grow and just die off altogether, or they will grow a little bit to about maybe 2 foot, form a fruit. It will get to like 3 inches and then just drop off, and the plant will die. No matter what variety I grow, even the ones that are supposed to grow like really long cucumbers, really nice cucumbers, I grow them. They get to about the longest cucumber I've ever grown was 3 inches, and that fell off and rotted, and the plant died about a week later. So, how do you grow them, Go Fish? Do you just stick them in a grow bag, or what do you do? Because I put them straight into the soil that's been obviously prepared with fertilizers and stuff. I say fertilizers, well rotted horse manure and rotted down like kitchen scraps and things like that. Yeah, so would you recommend them then? I think, does 60% shading sound about right to you, or is that too much, do you think? It's a lot cooler in them, but you still get sunlight, obviously. But it just keeps the temperature down more than anything. So how many chicks have you got then, Rachel? You said that you had some hatching the other day. I do go fish, yes. I have obviously my chickens, and then I've got loads of insects and stuff, but they obviously don't count. They're not animals. But BBK Trudy is saying they've got to go before they burn the kitchen down. Thank you very much for coming along. Good luck with that. Hope you had a good time, and good luck. Thank you, Go Fish. I was just looking at that. I think what it is always a like behind, because it's just gone up and saying 9. So Rachel Jane's allotment is saying, yeah, she would recommend the green stuff grows a lot better in them. That's good. I'm definitely going to get one. Another question for you then. I'm going to... It's 120 foot long by something like 21 foot or something like that. Can't quite remember the width. Anyway, does £750 sound about right for a cover of that size? Rachel Jane's allotment saying had 2 hatch and 1 quail. I might try quail one day. How long do they live, and do they need like lots of heat or cold conditions? As soon as I get one of my silkies, well, I'm really looking forward to when my silkies go broody, because that's what I want to do now. I just want to hatch loads of chicken eggs, but I've just not got any broody hens at the minute, which is why it's useful though having the pekins and the broody and the silkies, because they are, especially the pekins, are known for going broody quite a lot. So that is useful having them. And one of my, because obviously I got 4 that hatched, one of the black Pekin chicks, which are the black ones, one of those is a rooster, unfortunately, but depending on what I do, because I've got a bit of a plan for the chicken pen. I did say this earlier, but I never finished the sentence. I've got a plan for it. Basically, there is another house the other side of the fence that's in pretty good condition. And currently what I've done is I've just put a new piece of rent fence up. So where that little wooden door is, or the wooden gate in my chicken pen, that's now open, and they've got another, I suppose, 10-foot by 10-foot little compound. It's probably a bit bigger than that, but at a guess it's 10 foot by 10 foot. And I've sort of there's loads of stinging nettles and brambles in there, so I'm just leaving them go through that, because especially the light Sussex, every time I go in there now, there'll be at least 2 or 3 in under the stinging nettles and the brambles, eating away at all the bugs and the actual leaves of the stinging nettles and the brambles. So they really like that, so I'm leaving that there for them. Probably acts as quite nice shading for them as well when it gets really hot. But the plan is, once they've sort of cleared that out, I'm going to make the compound about the same length, if not longer, than my current chicken pen. And I'm going to separate the two, which won't take very much at all. I literally just have to shut a door. So I'm going to separate the two and have 2 different flocks. And the idea with that is, obviously, I can then have any cockerels I get, I can still keep them and just have them in each one. So I've got 2 different flocks. So if I want pure breed pekins, for example, I've got Sam, and then I've got the other pekins. I can just put them together in there, leave them like that. All right. Do you know how big yours are, Rachel? Just to sort of give me an idea. But I've already spoken to a couple of people, and they think £750 sounds roughly accurate, but they aren't entirely sure because they've only ever had the white covers, which cost like £400-500. So I'm gonna carry on looking, and hopefully I can find a decent cover that's gonna last me a while, but that doesn't cost me a fortune. So Barbara's allotment saying, going to pop up to the allotment, catch you all later. Thank you very much, Barbara. Thank you for coming along. Really appreciate that. Have a great day. I don't think I'll go on for much longer today, but I will be doing a lot more live streams more frequently now the internet's back up, because I am in my summer holidays, so I've got a bit more free time than I normally do. So I'm going to try and do at least 2 or 3 live streams a week for the next 2 weeks, and then it's the end of the summer holidays. But until then, I will be trying to do as many live streams as I can. If I've got a spare couple of hours, I'll come on here. So it's 6 meters. All right. Thank you. Yeah, so Go Fish will be going in a bit as well to rest. Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, thank you for coming along though, everybody. I do appreciate that. So, Rachel, another question. You said obviously you had quails. Do they need much room? Do I need to get them at a really big pen like my chickens have now, or do they prefer less room? And also, are they tree dwellers? Do they? Because I've got lots of willows that I'm going to have to really cut back or cut down depending on what I keep in there. Although I think in the end I'll probably just sort of cut them to a couple feet high and just. What kind of chickens do I have? I have pure breed light Sussex bantams, black pekins, a lemon pekin. What else? Two silkies, a black one and a white speckled one. And actually, I've got three. Yeah, so I got 5 light Sussex, 3 black Pekins, and then Sam the lemon, 2 silkies, and then the chicks that I've got that have hatched. I've got. I have made some videos on them. Go fish. I've made one. I think it was my most recent upload. I think I did a bit of an update on them all, and showed the chicks as well because I had to save one because it was nearly dead. But you'll see that in the video. But basically, they're all crossbred with my light Sussex cockerel. So I've got light Sussex and black Peking cross, and got 2 of those, and a light Sussex and silky cross again, 2 of those. And you can really see that they've got light Sussex in them, especially with their feathers as they're beginning to form on their wings. You've even with the black Pekins, you do have a couple white feathers here and there. So that's really nice. The fact that I've got some pures, but I've also got some crossbreeds. Hopefully they'll make some, like really feisty birds. Hopefully, just depends. I know the silky cross light Sussex is likely going to be very ugly because my silkies as they are now, they're not really pure. I don't think because I've seen lots of silkies at shows and stuff, and they're pretty much pure white. I've got a black one and a speckled one, so I don't think they're pure. They might be very close to it at least, but they just personally to me don't look very pure and they look very ugly. Especially the black one. It gets when it drinks, it's got like a bit of hair on the top of its head. When it drinks, it literally puts its entire head into the water, so it comes up and its face is soaking wet, and it's got like this little like soaking wet Mohican on the top. Oh no, don't worry about that, Go Fish. It's difficult. It's difficult to keep on top of anybody's videos. I struggle myself, and I've got plenty of time when I'm potting up in the greenhouse. I normally try and stick on some videos, but even then, it's difficult to keep up to date with everybody's YouTube channels. So Rachel James Lomman saying they don't really leave the ground. They don't usually. They don't really use nest boxes. They lay eggs everywhere. You're going to use a shop-bought back garden chicken coop. So very small. Okay, so because that's the thing, I always feel bad with my chickens if I have them in a small space. Like my broody currently, I'm fixing up that. The reason why I bought that secondhand guinea pig hutch was for this broody hen with the 4 chicks to have a bit more room, because currently they're in this little rabbit hutch, which it isn't big enough for them. They've not got a proper run, but at the same time they are happy in it. You know what I mean? They're not trying to get out. They're quite happy with the small space, but I still feel bad for them, and I can't build a proper run onto it because then I won't be able to clean it out at all. So so I'm just gonna try and build them this new. Well, I've got the frame of it, but the floor and all needs redoing, and I'm going to put some chicken wire on the bottom of it so nothing can get in there from the bottom, because we've had that before. Stuff is dug in or dug out. Thank you very much for coming along, Go Fish. I really appreciate that, and you have a great day as well. Hopefully I'll see you again at some point. Exactly, Rachel Jane. That's probably about 3 or 4 times the space that a breeder would give them, and I still feel bad for them. So yeah, I like to make sure they have as much room as possible. We can't free range them because obviously on the farm, lots of tractors, they'd get run over. But also with our shop, we used to get them because I had some Rhode Island Reds a couple of years ago. They'd always fly out of the coop, and then they'd just be wandering around the farm, pecking open birdseed bags, and just like going into the shop, annoying customers, like going on their cars and stuff. And I didn't want them to go. I didn't want them to get out, but that's why we can't have them free ranging. So I try and give them as much room as I can. but I still feel bad for them. I would give them the entire chicken pen, but currently, because it is a very big compound, but I physically can't at the minute. They just all be killed. It's got a lot of weak points where foxes used to get in, and we'd go there and they'd all be dead. Do you know what I mean? So I do shut them away, but even in the day, foxes will come in. That doesn't stop them. So until I can get that chicken, the outer bit completely fixed, I don't think I'll have them in that large area. But I don't think I'd ever do that anyway. I like having them in the separate compounds, and well, as long as they have enough room, I think it's okay to do that because it means they're protected in there, and I can sort of rotate them through each one if they run out of grass or whatever. Because currently mine don't have any grass, so until I get an actual nice sized flock to fill up this new house, I'm just going to sort of rotate them between the two. However, currently I just have them going into this mini compound because it's not finished. I've not got enough renter fence. But when that's finished, when I'm doing that, I will make some videos about that and keep you all updated. But until then, it's just a little extra compound bit, which they do spend a lot of time in because there's loads of blackberries that they like eating and all sorts of stuff like that in there. So I think I might go as well in a minute or two because I'm going for an hour and 16 minutes. 4 people here and 10 likes. Yeah, so I like a mixed flock personally. So Rachel James Lotman saying hers is a little mixed flock. Don't know what they are. Don't know what they all are. They do have rescued Rhode Island Reds and a white star. What's a white star? I've never heard of those. I have to Google that. I'll try and film them for you this weekend. Yeah, that'd be nice. I'd like to see them if you wouldn't mind. Yeah, my Rhode Island Reds were rescued as well. And you think they've been in a cage their entire lives. You give them a really big pen. Do they want to be in it? No. They want to go everywhere but. So, because I used to do a lot of like camping and stuff like that up there, and I have my dog there with me all day, and he's obsessed with chickens because he wants to round them up, and he would spend hours because this chicken would go on top of the renter fence and just stand on top teasing the dog, waiting for the dog to go away so it could fly out over. And normally what it would do, it would jump up onto the renter fence, fly up onto it, and then fly from the renter fence to this other chicken house, and then they'd fly to, and then they'd basically go along the renter fence. Cause it's all linked up, so they could walk right along a piece of renter fence and fly out. So I gave up with Rhode Island Reds. The fox got them in the end, I think. I can't remember. Yeah, I think the fox got them gradually because they kept escaping. One wouldn't come back, or it decided to stay outside. I couldn't find it, and then it would be eaten, which was a shame. So I don't think I'll ever keep Rhode Island Reds again because I think I'll just stick with Bantams because they're easier to keep. However, I will get some Cornish blacktails. A friend of mine, Poultry Pal. If you haven't checked him out, please go to his channel. He makes some amazing chicken videos and chicken guides, all sorts of things like that. Really, really informative videos and well put together as well. So I asked him if he could make a video on the Cornish Blacktail, which is a crossbreed of the Light Sussex and Rhode Island Reds. And he made that, which was very kind of him. So he's the one to talk to if you have any chicken questions. I will ask him about the White Star because I'm curious about that one. But I think he's got a flock of, I think somewhere between 5 and 10 Rhode Island Reds that he's raised from chicks, which is really nice. But yeah, he really knows his stuff. Got a lot of knowledge for chickens. It's amazing, really, how much he knows. But I think I will put this live stream to an end now. So thank you very much to everybody who came along. Really appreciate everybody who came along, even if you just, came in here and sort of said hello for a minute or two. Oh, Go Fish is here. Hello, Was Blind. You've sort of just caught me at the end and just sort of going off a little bit now, but I might stay on for a minute or two longer then. How are you, Was Blind? Thank you very much for coming along. I think this is the first time I've seen you in here before. Am I right in saying that you're normally on Nomadic Bikes live streams, Was Blind? Is that correct? I think it's his channel I see you on. But if there's any last things anybody wants to say, now's the perfect time to say it. Yeah, you go to Nomadic Bikes live there. I thought I recognized you from somewhere. I couldn't remember which channel though, because I go to a lot of live streams. I don't know when I'm going to be doing another live Was Blind. However, it's likely to be, I'd say, probably either tomorrow or the day after, because we've got the internet back and I'm behind on live streams now. So I'm going to do a bit of catching up and just do a load of extra little live streams. They won't be very long. I normally go for 2.5 hours. However, these will just sort of be an hour to an hour and a half long, maybe even less time, depending on how much time I've got. But if I do have a spare hour or two, I will come on and sort of say hello to everybody, even if it's just a half an hour live stream. But thank you very much, everybody who came along. Really appreciate that. Thank you for all of the support. And actually, I better just let you know, Was Blind. That I don't know if you know Jim Bob's Greenhouse Adventures. I think he does come into Nomadic Bikes streams a lot. But if he has been saying anything to offend or just annoy anybody in that group, it isn't him. He's got a fake account. So if you receive any messages from him, because he's probably watching this live stream now, going to people's channels now saying stuff. So if you do get anything, it isn't Jim Bob's Greenhouse Adventures. It's a faker who's just taken his name. The way you can tell, Jim Bob has a little, like a blue tree in his logo with a cactus and a potted plant, whereas this other guy just has a blue logo, a plain blue logo, and a plain red logo as well. So just to let you know, and anybody else. But thank you very much, everybody who came along. I think I will end this stream now. Thank you very much for that, Was Blind. Really appreciate that. And I'll see you all again. Bye for now.